Before I go on, I just want it known that this video is not intended in any way to back up or support Boris Johnson. I think he is an absolutely dismal failure of a Prime Minister. But having said that, the alternatives for British Prime Minister are truly frightening. So anyway, he popped onto GMB Good Morning Britain with Susanna Reid the other morning, and credit where it's due, Susanna Reid really skewered him, kept him on the hook, and got him squirming. He had no answers to anything whatsoever, which is quite worrying. However, remember folks, GMB, Good Morning Britain and Susanna Reid are journalists and mainstream media. But there was something about this interview that just didn't sit well with me. There was a bit about it, a small bit of detail that's been niggling at the back of my mind ever since. And this particular bit of the interview which troubled me was about elderly pensioner Elsie. Now, Susanna Reid presented Elsie's case to Boris Johnson, and she claimed that Elsie is a 77-year-old pensioner who eats one meal a day, lives in a council house in Band F. For those living outside the United Kingdom, Band F, or council tax bands, decide how much money you pay to the government or the local council every month or every year. So the more expensive your house, the more you pay council tax. So she lives in a council house in Band F, doesn't qualify for a rebate. She travels on the bus all day to avoid using energy at home, and she's been paying £17 a month for her energy bills, which has now gone up to £87 a month. And this, of course, is all down to the cost of living crisis, which has engulfed the United Kingdom recently. And by the way, the cost of living crisis is absolutely nothing to do with Brexit. Let's get that out of the way, okay? It is nothing to do with us leaving the European Union. So my question is this, to GMB, Susanna Reid, and anyone else who picked up on this slight anomaly. How the hell has someone been living in a Band F house being paying just £17 a month for her energy bills? Because I live in a Band D house, and I know there's more than one people living here, but our energy bills top over £600 a month. Even if I was living here by myself, there is absolutely no way on earth would I have been lucky enough to pay just £17 a month for my energy bills. In fact, when I had my flat in Southampton around 7 years ago, and I was even more stingy with money back then, even more stingy than a Scotsman, and that's saying something. And I looked for the best deals, the cheapest deals everywhere, and I rounded it up to around 140 a month. That was just me living by my own. So as you can see, Elsie's story doesn't add up. You do the math, and it's simply not possible. And I know there are charities out there who help the elderly get their bills down, help them out financially. There's even government help out there, as minimal as it is, but there's absolutely no way would Elsie, a pensioner, 77 years old, be able to live in a Band F house in the UK or Wales and Scotland and just spend £17 on a month on heating, etc. It's not possible. And you can hear Susanna Reid also saying that Elsie gets around £170 a week for her pension, her state pension to live on. I mean, it's just crazy, all right? The maths just doesn't add up. It doesn't add up at all. Because a Band F house is pretty expensive here in the UK. Well, it's expensive in England, but even more expensive in Wales. So we're not sure if Elsie is either English or Welsh. Regardless, if you look at the YouGov website and you look up council tax bands in England and Wales, they differ. So a Band F house in Wales is more expensive than a Band F house in England. So either way, Elsie has got a very nice house to herself, and she's not doing that bad, really. And why on earth would a pensioner, someone in their 70s, their late 70s for that matter, put their body through a 6 hours, maybe 7 hour, all-day journey on a bus, she says? Because buses aren't really comfortable. And from what I remember riding public transport years ago now, buses can be quite drafty. So as you can see, this story doesn't add up. So either three things are happening here. Either somebody has written in pretending to be this Elsie character, got their facts wrong, or Elsie is really Elsie and she simply got her council tax band incorrect when she wrote into GMB. Or, and the most likely one, is that GMB, being mainstream media, made up the whole thing and completely screwed up with their facts, just so they could make Boris Johnson squirm even more in that chair than he did. So there we go, that's what I think, that's my suspicion. Please let me know what you think in the comments. And if you like what I do, if you believe in free speech, because I have been demonetized by YouTube and Google, then by all means you can buy me a beer to support my channel. The link is down below. Thank you very much. And that's that. So until my next video, please comment, share, subscribe, and Roger Trout.